Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Gisela Mann's PhD Top Tips. And this is tip number 3, which is planning. Now, it might sound a bit counterintuitive to spend time planning when you have such a limited amount of time to write your PhD. But actually, a stitch in time saves 9, and the time you spend planning will make your chapter less repetitive, less rambly, and less likely to be subject to revision. So it's really a key component in the process of getting your PhD written in a year of weekends. So the first thing I did was create a very simple timeline of the year in months. So I started in April, so April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, boom, should be finished. And I had 7 chapters still left to write. So I allocated them to the month. So for example, in April, I wrote my findings chapter 1. May, findings chapter 2. June, findings chapter 3. July, do my theory outline and then review my findings chapters. And I did a timeline like that to make sure that each month had the chapter that I wanted to write and the reviews that I needed to do in that month. Then, before starting the chapter, and I didn't do this in advance for every chapter, I did this as I was about to start the chapter for the month. I would take the 4 weekends and work out how I was going to approach writing this chapter. So what normally happened, and what I suggest you do, is weekend 1, look up examples, do a Google search, look up literature on what makes a good X chapter, what makes a good discussion chapter, what makes a good literature review, what makes a good findings chapter. Review a few different sources and see what's commonly advised to include in a good chapter that you're writing. That way you know what it is that the examiner's looking for before you even start writing the chapter. Then in weekend 2, I would read examples of those chapters in other people's PhDs. So if I was working on a discussion chapter, I'd look up discussion chapters in my field, ones that were passed, PhDs that had successfully passed, and read them. See what a good chapter looks like. Get a good model in your brain before you start writing. And that way you're priming yourself to write a good chapter before you even start. Then weekend 3, after you've done the reduce, reuse and recycle process, which I will talk about in another video, you then start writing your chapter, and then in weekend 4 you continue writing your chapter. However, that time spent planning will increase your daily write rate a little bit, but because you're continuing to write as it comes smaller, you have that time to do the planning. So it's really vital to spend that time planning the chapter. You will get fewer revisions, you'll write a good quality chapter first time, and you'll be well on your way to getting your PhD written in a year of weekends. Thank you.